Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video. Sorry about my my nasally voice. Just think I'm getting sick a little bit right now. Late last night, one of my nostrils was starting to feel a little stuffy. Had to keep blowing my nose with some tissues. And now my throat is all stuffy now, so I don't know if this is just a change in the weather or something like that. But so yeah, I'm a little sick right now. But that wasn't going to stop me from doing another video. So if you hear this nasally voice for who knows how long, that's why, in case anybody asks. But I figured I would do another top 10 video. Excuse me. And probably gonna get a drink of Gatorade after this video. But I figured I would do, like I said, another top 10 video, and this will be on an actor that I really do enjoy, and that is Mr. Gary Busey. Gary Busey is an actor I really enjoy. Just enjoy a lot of his work. But I'll just get right on to the top 10 favorite movies of his that are my favorites. So I do have a couple on DVD. But some of them, like I said before, are not really easy to get to in my closet, so it's kind of a pain to pull a lot of all those DVDs out. but I do own like some of them that I didn't pull out of my DVD closet shelf. But let's get on to the top 10. So now coming in at number 10 would have to be the Buddy Holly story. Really great performance by Gary Busey. Really enjoyed that film a lot. I've seen it a couple times. Just a really, really well done film. I think that was one of Gary Busey's best films. I think he just did a really great job in that. One of his earlier films, of his earlier work. Coming in at number 9 would have to be Hider in the House. This is kind of like a Bad Ronald-like movie where Gary Busey gets out of a out of a nut house, and he ends up going inside this house that's vacant, that hasn't been sold yet, and he walls himself into the house, and then a family ends up moving into the house, and he ends up falling in love with the wife, who is played by Mimi Rogers, and from there and then things go from there. But I think it's a really well done thriller. I like Gary Busey. Mimi Rogers did a great job, and I believe it was made for USA. I think back in like the late '80s. But I think it's a pretty good one though. That's definitely why it's my number 9. Now coming in at number 8 would have to be DC Cab. This is a really fun comedy film that was directed by Joel Schumacher, well before he was known for The Lost Boys and Flatliners and Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, and Falling Down. This is before Joel Schumacher was ever known for any of those films. One of his earlier work was DC Cab, and this is a really fun comedy film with Gary Busey. You also have Mr. T, Paul Rodriguez. Just a really fun film. I think it's just a fun comedy. It's one of my personal favorite comedies from the '80s. Now, of course, at number 7 is Utah, Give Me 2. That's right, number 7 is Point Break. Point Break is one of those action films that I really do enjoy. One of my favorite action films from the 90s. Really great cast. Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, Gary Busey, Lori Petty. Directed by Catherine Bigelow, who did Near Dark, Zero Dark 30, The Hurt Locker, a few other films too. I really do enjoy Catherine Bigelow as a director, and this is another one that I really do enjoy. Point Break is just one of those films that I just love. And also one of my personal favorite Keanu Reeves films, and Patrick Swayze films too. So that's why it's definitely my number 7. Okay, now, coming in at number 6 is Predator 2. Really underrated sequel. Really enjoyed Predator 2. There's actually Gary Busey right there on the back, right there. He's right here. But yeah, Predator 2, I really do enjoy this film. I really like the idea of having Predator in the city And I know Arnold was supposed to come back for Predator 2, but he did Terminator 2 instead. So, you know, the world wanted him to do Terminator, because Terminator was a really big character. Not to say that Predator was a big hit for Arnold as well, because it was. Arnold that same year, he had Predator. He also had The Running Man, which unfortunately did nothing, and I really do enjoy The Running Man. But I think Danny Glover does a great job. Has a really great supporting cast too. Besides Danny Glover and Gary Busey, we also have Ruben Blades, Maria Conchita Alonso, Bill Paxton, the late great Bill Paxton, Robert Davi. Great musical score by Alan Silvestri, directed by Stephen Hopkins, same guy that did Judgment Night, which is actually my all-time favorite movie, Judgment Night. He also did Nightmare on Elm Street 5, and a couple of other films. But I really do enjoy Predator 2. But I think it's an underrated sequel. Number 5 is right here. It's a film that doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but I really do enjoy this film. My number 5 is Surviving the Game. Surviving the Game is just one of those films that I really do enjoy as well. It's really underrated. Nobody talks about this film. It's directed by Ernest Dickerson, who I think did Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But it's a really great cast. You have Ice-T as your main hero. You have, and the bad guys, you have Gary Busey, Rutger Hauer, Charles Dutton, F. Murray Abraham. Basically, it's about Ice-T's character is a homeless man who one day is down on his luck, and Charles S. Dutton's character comes to him and says, hey, we'll offer you a job as a hunter with us, because he's a part of this group of hunters. And the group of hunters, you have people like Rutger Hauer, Gary Busey, and F. Murray Abraham, and William McNamara, who is F. Murray Abraham's son in the film. He's part of the group as well. And basically what ends up happening is that when they get Ice-T's character out in the middle of the wilderness, he wakes up the next day and he finds out that he's the prey. So basically they're hunting down Ice-T's character. And Ice-T basically has to survive the game, as basically what it says in the title. But I think this film is a lot of fun. It's really a lot of really good action. I really do enjoy the cast. Just Gary Busey just being really over the top crazy, and I just love it. Ice-T kicks a lot of butt in this film. Really do enjoy Surviving the Game. Number 4 is Silver Bullet. One of my personal favorite werewolf films. Really do enjoy this film a lot. You have Gary Busey and Corey Haim, the late great Corey Haim. One of the more underrated Stephen King films, and one of the more underrated werewolf films. Really do enjoy Silver Bullet. And I know there's actually a brand new Blu-ray of this with some features on it, which I'd like to get at some point. But as of now, I have the bare bones DVD. But I really do enjoy Silver Bullet. Number 3, of course, would have to be Under Siege. One of my personal favorite Steven Seagal films, where Gary Busey is one of the bad guys along with Tommy Lee Jones, and Steven Seagal is a cook on a ship, and basically these guys take over, and Steven Seagal has to save the day. It's an action classic. Love Under Siege. Love it. Number 2 is actually part of this 4-pack, but it's this one right here. Eye of the Tiger, right there. Eye of the Tiger was a film that was in 1986. And basically it's a really fun 80s action film where you have Gary Busey's character, who is a Vietnam vet. He's also an ex-con who ends up, who comes back to his old town, and basically he finds it to his wife and his little girl, who is Judith Barcy, who is the voice of Ducky in the Land Before Time films, Jaws: The Revenge, a couple of other things. I know it's very tragic what happened to her, but basically Gary Busey comes back to his town, and the town is basically overrun by this motorcycle gang, and basically Gary Busey has to stop these bikers, and he has an old buddy of his that he knew back in the day, played by Yaphet Kotto from Alien, among other stuff. You have William Smith, who was in Conan the Barbarian, as the lead villain. I think this one's a lot of fun too. It's a really fun film. I really enjoyed it, and this 4-pack I mainly got for Eye of the Tiger and Exterminator 2. The other two were just but really enjoy Eye of the Tiger. And of course, my #1 favorite Gary Busey film is without a doubt Lethal Weapon, where Gary Busey plays Mr. Joshua. Just such a legendary, great buddy cop film with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. You know, Gary Busey is great as Mr. Joshua. You know, it's just, you know, when people think of Lethal Weapon, like villains, they always think of Mr. Joshua, played by Gary Busey. And Gary Busey is great as Mr. Joshua. And it's without a doubt my favorite role that Gary Busey played. And this is why it's my favorite film of Gary Busey's career. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 favorite Gary Busey films. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, take care.